Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Mess. So, Derek, and we got some asterisk big decomp entry for you guys today. That is because every single time we talk about decomps, recomps, and PC ports, one of the games that always comes up in both formats is going to be Conker's Bad Fur Day on N64, as well as the original Xbox version of the game. And just basically 24 hours ago, as of me recording this audio, probably 48 hours once you're actually watching it, Xbox and Microsoft decided to start releasing backwards compatible Xbox games on PC with Xbox Live. So if you have a membership, there's 4 games right now, and honestly, I swear they're the 4 games that Microsoft always loves to re-release on some format or another. And even though this is definitely using emulation with improvements around the edges and really isn't a recompilation of sorts, it's kind of the best category to kind of put that into the bucket of just trying to make a video here to tell you guys the good news. But right now, if you have Xbox Live and a Game Pass, you can go over to your Windows 11 PC, and I'll tell you right now, this entire capture happened on Windows 10, so even though Microsoft says it won't work, it works totally fine, at least for me, and start playing Conker's Bad Fur Day, the Xbox version, with those Blinks the Cat and 2 other games. And I swear, Blinks the Cat is 100% the game that Microsoft always trots out when they're talking about original Xbox games. It is a fun one, but it's kind of funny. Even before I heard the game list and someone just said that they were doing this, I thought to myself, I swear they're going to have Blinks the Cat, and they did. And yes, I know it's Blinks the Time Sweeper, but Blinks the Cat should have been the title just because it sounds a lot better to me personally. But jumping right into Conker's Bad Fur Day Live and Reloaded, I will say for the most part, this is doing a better job than if you're using an Xbox emulator not made by Microsoft. Yes, they're still presenting in the 4:3 aspect ratio. They didn't do anything to give us 16:9, but you can bump up the internal rendering resolution with the launcher, getting over basically 1080p resolution, but in a 4:3 aspect ratio. And that's totally fine by me. This game is a vibe, and I think having the original aspect ratio isn't really a bad problem, but I wish Microsoft had pushed maybe a little bit more. But everyone keeps talking about a Conker quote-unquote recomp or PC port, and even though this is a port with asterisks and quotation marks around it, it's basically about as close as we're going to get in the month of July, so we'll definitely just have to be happy with it. I definitely am happy with it because in my experience, it is fun. It's the same absolutely hilarious and weird game that it always was, and it still has all the same referential humor, basically making this both a remake as well as kind of like a pseudo-sequel to the game, changing up a lot of different things. It was stable and everything worked, and again, I'm not sure why Microsoft insisted this will only run on Windows 11, because all I did was hit play. It told me that my requirements weren't met, but it would let me try it anyway, and I had no issues whatsoever. I just think it's because Microsoft really wants us all to upgrade to Windows 11, and until they completely drop support, they're not getting it off me, because I absolutely hate my editing laptop with Windows 11. It always drives me insane. But honestly, the port here, again, quotation marks, so don't yell at me in the comments, just the language I am using, is something a lot of people have wanted. It's going to be a really fun time to be able to replay through Conker again with these enhancements and this better performance. And the other thing is, a lot of different emulation developers and modders out there are looking exactly what Microsoft is using to run these games, picking apart the files, and even trying to swap in other original Xbox games to run properly on PC. It's not going to be as easy as just switching out the files, but it's definitely something, now that we know what Microsoft is utilizing and it's available on Windows machines, you're going to see a future, I'm sure, where you get emulation running these games and more games that were never released by Microsoft on the Xbox Live Game Pass software program, and that's going to be a really fun thing because original Xbox emulation isn't exactly the most buttoned up thing out there, so if we have more resources to be able to pick it apart and figure out how to emulate more games properly, that is going to be a win. But as of today, that Conker's Bad Fur Day PC port is available, and that is incredible because I know you guys all wanted this one, and honestly, I wanted it too. And before you ask, I don't have any more updates or details on the N64 static recomp of Conker's Bad Fur Day. Hopefully we'll see that by the end of summer, but I have no information other than the fact that I know people are working on it. But you tell me down below, I am curious, Live and Reloaded or the original N64 version of the game? And yes, this one is censored compared to the N64 version. That just seems to be something we're going to have to deal with. My soundtrack sample one time right now, and I'll be right back with a lot more.
A frying pan. You stupid little...
Wasn't he meant to fall off here? Hey, weren't you meant to fall off here?
Yes. but the designer thought it wise to change the training level a bit. To fool the audience into thinking that the rest of the game would also be different. I'm afraid you'll have to try something else.
I think that is the most part about the actual remake of Conker's Bad Fur Day on the Xbox. The fact that it knows it is a remake and actually pivots up some certain things in the story. Not too much that it feels like a different game, but basically kind of just has a wink and a nod, fourth wall break reality of we know that we're changing things and you're just going to have to deal with that. And I know oftentimes this game gets compared to Clockwork Orange from Stanley Kubrick, but in my opinion, even though that's not what's stated even by the developers, someone was watching Barry Lyndon in the background because it has a very similar intro theme. Kind of sounds like Clockwork Orange as well, but in the story of Barry Lyndon goes from basically a rake and gambler to being a high society member by the end until he has his ultimate downfall. And in the intro of the game, Conker is the king, and he's going to tell you how he has his story from going from a basic bar crawl squirrel to being in charge of everything in the land. I know that's a complete aside on a PC port, again quotations, of Conker's Bad Fur Day from the Xbox to PC, but it is something last time I talked about people asked me about, so I figured I would throw it in. But as far as the performance is concerned, I had absolutely no issues running this whatsoever, but again, I'm on an i9-12900K with a 3080 Ti and 64GB of RAM, so if this thing hitched, it would definitely be down to the performance in whatever emulator Microsoft spun up in-house, and not to the fact that my system didn't have the resources to actually be able to play it. And I'm sure Microsoft went through these games to make sure they had a good showing, because this is a new initiative where they're having backwards compatible games from the Xbox playable on PC, and I want to see this happen for the Xbox 360 as well, with a lot more games being added and made available to play on Windows. And again, if you have a Windows-based handheld, something like the ROG Ally, then you're going to be able to enjoy these as well, and that is a fun time. And honestly, modern gaming, Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony are always making some pretty dumb decisions lately. So for a company like Microsoft to actually do something that makes most people happy and gives us something that we always wanted, that is not unnoticed, at least for the Video Game Esoterica channel and me personally. I'm glad that finally somebody out there thought to themselves, retro is fun, people want to play these games, we need it to make it more easier and accessible for them to do so. So let's make 4 original Xbox games backward compatible on PC, and let's throw Conker in there because basically it is something that we still own as a property. And even though I don't expect to ever see another Conker game in this lifetime, and it seems like Microsoft has absolutely no idea what to do with Rare as a developer, if all we ever get in the next decade is a PC port, again quotations, don't yell at me in the comments down below, of Conker's Bad Fur Day Live and Reloaded, that's good enough for me. I think it's going to be good enough for a lot of people, because this game is still fun, it is still charming, and until we have an N64 recomp that basically gives us all the quality of life improvements and better frame rate that something like the Xbox remake has here, this is definitely going to be the de facto best way to play as far as performance is concerned. That really is something that is exciting. But you tell me down below, if you played Conker back in the day, which version did you play? Nintendo 64 or the original Xbox? I would be curious. One more soundtrack as well as in-game dialogue sample to hear the audio quality of what Microsoft just put out, and I'll be right back with just a little bit more Conker.
Alright, who's this?
Looks like one of them Skittles.
I reckon we should get down there and kick the out of him.
Nah, we'll wait till he comes up here, alright?
Okay then, yeah.
Hello, it's me again, Mr. Scarecrow Birdie. Right, what seems to be the problem? Oh yes, you need manual. Otherwise, doesn't work. Manual, it costs you.
Oh, how much?
Got any Mepsi Pucks?
What?
Don't matter. Actually, I think, $10. Long time. You'll have manual long time.
And if you don't know what that's in reference to, I will tell you right now, it's a pivot on a line from Full Metal Jacket, again, another Stanley Kubrick film. So the reality situation is everyone seems to compare something like Conker's Bad Fur Day just to a Clockwork Orange, and while there are influences there, there's a lot of other Kubrick films in here, from stuff like Barry Lyndon to a Clockwork Orange to Full Metal Jacket. This thing ranges the gamut of inspirations, and I feel like a lot of people actually miss that. That might be why I really do enjoy this game outside of the absurd gameplay. It just reminds me a lot of some of my favorite films of all time. There's definitely some other Kubrick references in the game, so if you know them, leave me a comment down below and you tell me which ones you've seen, because I'm sure there's probably some that even all of us have missed. But this is awesome in my opinion. Microsoft gave retro gaming fans something for basically free so long as they had Game Pass, and now we have an emulator out there that can run these games, and I'm sure the community will take that emulator and probably pop a bunch more things in it, and that means that all of us are going to win. So if you have Game Pass, go ahead and download this one today, and don't believe Microsoft when they tell you that it only works on Windows 11. I'm sure it's just a play to get more of us to upgrade to what is, in my opinion, maybe the worst Microsoft operating system since Bob existed. And if you're not old enough to remember Microsoft Bob, trust me, look it up. It was absolutely hilarious. But short of that, go play some Conker. We got a PC port today, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. But I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.